Hi, welcome to this new lesson. Let's continue talking about the structure. This time, I'll be doing another mythological creature called Ghillie Dhu, which is a sort of fairy which protects forests, like a forest guardian. In the descriptions I found on the internet, these creatures are also known for their kindness. However, they are also said to get very angry, especially if someone trespasses upon his forest, which is pretty understandable, since they protect forests and fight against cutting down trees. So, according to the descriptions, these are said to be male fairies and small in height. What all the descriptions agree with is that these fairies' skin is covered in moss, and they have dark and messy hair, and quite unkempt actually. I've also found out that there are two different versions on the Ghillie Dhu. One of them refers to a female fairy and the other to a male. In the case of the male, it's depicted as a boy, and in the case of female fairy, as a woman known for her exceptional beauty, but also messy aspect. I've decided to give my fairy a childish appearance, so I'll be providing this forest fairy with features typical of a child. I think it's a good idea because it will give us a wider range of possibilities and characteristics to work with. As I'm taking a child as a reference for the fairy's body, you'll notice that the head is quite small as well as the nose, which is tiny and flat. So I'll take advantage of it to make her wear a cap resembling the moss. That's why I'm adding all these leaves and little branches you can see here. Perhaps I could make her in a protected position. Well, not her, this fairy, as these were protecting an animal or something else. What do you think? I'm not sure yet. As it's a fairy, it's supposed to be much shorter than a normal person. Something similar to the brownie, remember? But unlike the brownie, it will have a youthful and childlike appearance based on the descriptions I found. And for this reason, I'll be drawing delicate features in comparison to the wrinkles of the brownie. The way I drew the nose is very representative as well. That's why I made it tiny and rounded. And the information obtained doesn't provide anything regarding colors, but I think that dark tones fit fine with the character and its environment. It is the forest. Thus, I'll be using afterwards a color palette based on green tones and shades. Guys, these are small details we need to take into account when creating an illustration based on descriptions. So, according to this, these fairies are covered in moss and wear dark colors. Could we use reddish shades? Yes, we could. Would it make sense? Not at all, since we know that moss is green or even yellow, but not red. As it's a mythological creature inhabiting the woods, it would be more coherent to use a green palette. Okay, it just came to my mind that I could draw a mouse next to it to emphasize the size and compare it with the animals. But also because, as I said before, I wanted to make her, this fairy, in a protective position, so it would be great for this as well. In case you have any doubt about how to draw the animal, you can go to internet and there you find tons of references as well as illustrations which can be really helpful. I'm saying this since in case of mythological beings, there are some pictures on the internet, but they are not as realistic nor true. So we'll need to resort to our imagination. Okay, let's erase this part over here. I think I've drawn the mouse too high up. To solve this, I'll make the fairy nailing. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And this way I don't need to erase the mouse because I like it. Although I still need to draw again the hand. It's weird how I made it, right? So let's try it again and draw the hand resting on the mouse's forehead. Okay, and now we're ready to add shadows and some touches here and there. But first, I'm going to change the hand. Okay, we are talking now. It seems more real, right? So, going back to the animal, it's up to you if you want an animal or not in your illustration. As I always say, it's just a matter of personal taste. The description doesn't mention anything about animals. I just believe it will be a good detail to add, because these fairies are forest guardians, and thus making our fairy in a protective position towards the animal helps to understand the concept we want to reflect in this illustration. Okay, let's add some hair locks over here, and I'm also going to outline the locks. As I did in the previous illustrations, I don't want to create a clean and polished sketch. I'll be defining the outline and the lines, but I don't intend to do a clear linear nor a detailed illustration. If you remember, we were creating a sketchbook like drawing, and also I based mine on the Spider Witch movie. You'll find a lot of references of this on internet because I find it really good source of inspiration. Okay. And well, what I'm doing now is just giving little details to the mouse. As you realized, I've altered it a little bit because I didn't like its previous appearance. So I looked for some references on the internet and I've added rounder eyes and longer nose. Okay. And now let's make the fairy's gaze deeper. Although I wanted to give it a childlike aspect, I think the result is too childish, so I'll opt for a serious appearance, as it's depicted in the description. Here I'm synthesizing the structure. As you can see, I've used a square for the body, and pay attention to this. I've made the end of the limbs bigger than the rest. It is. The hands and feet are bigger than the arms and legs. I felt like making it in this way. And guys, are you ready for the last lesson before the final project? Hope you liked this one and see you in the next one. Bye!